Shri Ramachandra Kripalu Bhajamana Harana Bhava Bhaya Darunam. Shri Ramachandra Kripalu Bhajamana Harana Bhava Bhaya Darunam. Navakanjalochana Kanjamukhakara Kanjapada-kanjarunam Kandarpa-ganita amita-chavinava-nila-niraja sundaram Patapita-manavu tadita-ruchi-shuchi Naumi Janaka-sutavaram Shri Ram, Shri Ram, Ram Ram, Siya Ram, Shri Ram, Shri Ram, Ram Ram, Siya Ram. Shri Ramachandra Kripalu Bhajamana Harana Bhava Bhaya Darunam. Shri Ramachandra Kripalu Bhajamana Harana Bhava Bhaya Darunam. Navakanjalochana Kanjamukhakara Kanjapada-kanjarunam Kandarpa-ganita amita-chavinava-nila-niraja sundaram Patapita-manavu tadita-ruchi-shuchi Naumi Janaka-sutavaram Shri Ram, Shri Ram, Ram Ram, Siya Ram, Shri Ram, Shri Ram, Ram Ram, Siya Ram.
Okay, I'm audible? Very good.
Father, just want to say it aloud. My pride, by making me feel more than or less than, always trying to make me, it uses less than and it uses more than.
Yes.
And that really is blocking me from, it's using that to block me from living in God's light, Father, in those. And Father, may I not feel special by being above or below, Father, because both special only in some way. It's just, may it not win, Father, because it's really just taking me away from God, Father. Nothing else, it's winning, Father.
So is it using more than, less than?
I think it's using less than. I
More
think I
than,
can't.
more than.
I think it's using less than. More than, more than. Yeah, correct. Sorry, I'm a bit slow. Actually, no, it uses both, Father. I don't know, but it's using one of the two all the time, and
To determine your position. And we feel helpless without being clear about what our position is, because without that, how do we act? How do we live? How do we just be?
also the ego feels good, Father, in that.
Yes, the ego feels most helpless positionlessly or powerless, let's say, about helpless. But indeterminate, empty, indeterminate or empty, what's there? Where do you start? Where do you end? So the way to place yourself in the body is by determining how that name, how that form is to, taken to be. What is the position? Is it better off than the others? Is it worse off than the others? Is it higher? Is it lower? Is it good? Is it bad?
I should figure out, you're saying.
No, I'm just saying by placing ourselves in these quadrants, in these positions, then we are able to, the ego is able to have a posture and say, okay, now because I am better off than the others, I can be a bit like
Yeah.
this. And if I'm worse off than the others, I can be a bit like
Yeah.
that. You see, and either gives a posture for us to seem to place ourselves and to operate from there. But if you just neutral to all of these, not placing yourself in any construct, now this neutrality, this emptiness leads to the revelation in the light of spirit. Because when we are empty, it is natural to be open, receptive. So, spirituality, in a way, the spiritual path is going out from soldier mode into just the open listening mode. Yes, because with our positions, we become in this like closed defense attack mode. You see? And that is the constant push and pull of our life. What do I need to defend against? How will I not get hurt? You see, what is happening to me? All this so-called self-preservation, which is about preserving nobody. There is nobody at the center of that. You see, is causing us to give more and more power to the non-existent entity and remaining away from the light of spirit itself, from the light of the Atma within.
Father, first it's built the identity and now it's trying to preserve the
Yeah,
identity, and
yeah.
this
And
is
it's the same hypnosis that is used for building and preservation. You see? It's like a constantly collapsing wall. You see? Now, would you call putting a brick building or preserving? Same thing. No. So you just, this ego is in a state of natural dissolution. You see? Because it's in a state of natural dissolution, the mind keeps providing it oxygen, you see, and to keep it alive. And within 2 minutes, if you're empty, it starts to feel like helpless. No, no, but something, but this, that, you see it? Yeah. So just that, allowing that dissolution to happen in our openness, in our emptiness, in God's name, in our inquiry, allowing that emptiness to happen is then to replace the false me with the true one, with the true light of God. You see? Now, what is the master stroke from the ego? You see? To make our spirituality itself an egoic project. How am I doing on my spiritual path? That's one. You start determining yourself on that path. Then, oh, this one is doing better. I am doing worse. My teacher is like this. My teacher is like that. So all these framing, you see, can be used in the guise of spirituality to stand away from spirit. What makes us compelled in the false, you see, then makes us stand away from the light of spirit. You see? You cannot, like, simply put, it's put in all religions that we cannot serve two masters at the same time. So if you're serving the me, then we can't serve God. And if you're serving God, then we can't serve the me. Now the trick is what? To serve the me in the guise of serving God. So we have to be vigilant to the fact of whether we are placing ourselves more and more in constructs or more and more in letting go, surrendering. So don't allow spiritual constructs to define you. Don't create a new identity around that. To serve the me in the guise of serving God. Like our spirituality should not become a egotistical endeavor. How will we know? How will we know? Pride is usually a good answer. So just pride, and how will we know we are proud? Same. Irritation, anger, grasping, wanting to be seen, all of these.
Measuring also.
Yeah, constant measuring, evaluating, comparative, putting ourselves in these comparative system structures.
It's a really tough project. I mean, research is going against every conditioning that we are.
Goes against every conditioning. Because conditioning is vasana. Vasana is avidya. And this ignorance called avidya, when we are empty of it, then the self is allowed to shine through.
Did I get it? So also,
Did I get it? Yes.
no, our ego, our personality wants to be a divine one,
Yes, of course.
guided by the Holy Spirit,
It,
and wants to melt. And our mind wants to prevent it out
Yeah.
of fears and out of conditioning.
yeah. It wants to be special, and it will not be really truly be in the presence of spirit or guided by the spirit, although it can delude itself that it is. Yeah? With pride you cannot enter the temple of God. With the grasping posture you can't enter the temple at all. So the spirit is inaccessible when we are holding on to the me. It has to be shared. So if you want outcome, if you want to be special, if you want to be somebody, then we cannot really be in God's presence, and to follow the guidance of the Spirit is far-fetched.
So it is not because it's always ego trait mind.
Yeah.
It's the ego, it's not the ego, the personality, but it's mind only that wants to
Yes,
keep
so
us
the
away.
oxygen for this ego is the mind,
The oxygen.
isn't it? Without the oxygen, this one will not survive. I'll give you an example. Take yourself to be a holy man living in Haridwar. Okay? So, even if you were to imagine, if the imagination showed up in our attention of that holy man in Haridwar, by just looking at that image, you don't take yourself to be that. You can't. Yeah? Do this experiment if you like, all of you. Huh? Just in the sheer imagination, in the perception of that imagination, you do not take yourself to be the object that you're imagining. Then how do you do it? By identifying with thoughts. Saying, I am this one, my name is Ramlal, something. To build. Now you've taken, I am this man in Haridwar, I live on the banks of the Ganga, my name is Ramlal, I have all these friends here. You see? Now, as long as you keep doing that process, Ramlal seems to be alive. You see? Now stop the process. Ramlal will come collapsing. You see? It is the same with our egoic identity. What we take ourselves to be, if we don't take ourselves to be for 5 minutes also, you will feel a great relief from the oppression of this personality. But 5 minutes seems like a long time initially. With me so far? Follow?
It comes then, oh, I'm nothing, and this, then it comes, I'm that.
Yes. So let it all come. But you are not.
It's a personality, yeah.
You are not nothing, you are not something, you are not everything, you are not located, you are not dislocated, none of it. comes crashing down. Now, for most of us, to stay like that for a few minutes is difficult. And the sages realize it's difficult. Because what can also energize it is the idea that I am staying like that. If we were to stay without topics, we would be free. You see? But then the topic becomes to stay without topics. Should I repeat? If we were to stay without topics, Vishyo mein vish hai. So if we were to stay without the poison of topics, then we would be free. But how do you make sure that now staying without topics is not the topic? You see? So then that can become the topic. So that's why we're saying if you're being empty, then you're not being empty. So then the sages said, okay, now for most of us, this is too difficult, they need another tool. How to remain empty is to take God's name or to ask yourself who you are. So the mind says, I am Ramlal. And the question is asked, who witnesses this thought? Who witnesses this thought, I am Ramlal? So in the asking the question, who witnesses it, we drop the topic. We remain empty. And when we remain empty, what happens? Spirituality happens. That's why spirituality happens. Which means, in the light of spirit, we have the revelation of the truth. We have the revelation of love, of devotion. All that is good is given to us, gifted to us, revealed to us in that open, empty. So you ask yourself. Now if you don't want to ask yourself, then you just take the name of God. So the mind will say, oh Ramlal, better get this done. But you are not bothered about Ramlal, you are bothered about Ram. So you say, Ram, Ram, Ram. Not filling yourself up with any identity, remaining empty.
Initially, when you very quick in that process of sadhana, you said like drop all topics, but don't make that the topic also. No.
Exactly.
But when you inquire or repeat God's name or whatever, is a question. Are you in that transition making that a topic also or not?
God's name is a safe topic. Okay. So that's a great refuge.
Yes.
The safest topic we can take refuge in is to make all the layers of our existence God obsessed. So, what's in the mind? God, God, God. Where should I go? God, God, God. What is right? God, God, God. What is wrong? God, God, God. Mind, intellect. What is my heart for? God, God, God. Who do I love? God, God, God. Fill ourselves, immerse ourselves in God. We don't get involved in the false. But if it is, I am doing God, God, God. I should do God, God. I am succeeding in God. I am progressing in God. I am not doing it well enough, God. Then it's more me, me, me. And God is for the me, to serve the me. Then it is not empty. Then it is not safe. That's why I was saying spirituality, the egotistical pursuit of spiritual outcomes in the guise of spirituality is a big danger, very difficult to spot. If you're a Zen disciple, you would be told, just you have to find only one answer. Why did Bodhidharma go to the east? Oh, I'll read a book and find out. No, no, no. Find out. Why did he go to the east? And if the teacher is a little more indulgent, then there was a tiny baby goose which fell into the most expensive vase in China, the emperor's vase, which was priceless. And the goose was fed there because people were compassionate. And the goose grew till it filled the proportions of the vase. Now, if it grew little more, it will die. And we cannot break the vase. So how does the goose get out? Don't have to resolve anything else except this question: how does the goose get out? Is it a trick question? No. Does it have an answer? Yes. Is it? But in our usual grooves of operation, we will not find the answer. So, in the guise of this very complicated narrative, we've been provided a pathway. The pathway to where the truth is found, or the truth is gifted to us or graced upon us. You see? Yes, give it the mic. Sure. It's for her. No, it's for you. I just put it on.
I wanted to ask something. I don't know if that qualifies as a question in this discussion,
No.
but I wanted to ask that when you have a strong sense of identity,
Yes.
that some way lays a foundation for discipline.
Discipline.
Yes, and when you continually critiquing and questioning your self identity, that sometimes feels like a forced antagonization.
Yes.
That is a thing. And when you were all in a chaos place, who gives the uh, who gives the certainty that uh, I will I will get a shine of the self or the soul of the spirit.
Yes.
I can get deluded
Yes.
also, and I
Absolutely.
can uh, go down.
Yes.
That is one thing. And in the beginning, when you were discussing the aspect about uh, being defenseless, that aspect, I want to ask, in the spiritual journey, not only spiritual journey, in any kind of a journey, like I am a student, so
Yeah.
in that way also, don't you think that spiritual journey is also a kind of a battle?
Yes.
And they're being conscious of the fact that sometimes I have to be defendant,
Yeah.
or attacks, I mean, not that kind of a thing,
Yeah.
but laziness and doubts, like, so I mean, there also, like, some force is also needed,
Yeah.
even though it feels like something not very good.
Yes, I see what you mean. So let's go one by one. So uh, it identity helps with discipline, and in chaos, how can we come to the truth of who we are? That's the first part. No? That Now, it seems so chaotic in the absence of identity. Is that
Questioning. Question. Always questioning that.
if you're constantly questioning
Ah,
that who is this I? Who is this I?
yeah.
It's so oppressive almost.
Yeah. Also, it reflects in your personal life. Like
Yeah.
you may have some hobbies.
Yeah,
And why do I like this?
yeah.
And
Just put the mic so everyone on Zoom can hear.
so why do I love gardening?
Yeah.
Why do I love coloring?
Yes.
Why do I like to look at the sky?
Yeah.
Always, so
Sounds terrible. It's true.
yes, yes.
So suppose we don't bother with the whys, but only once we try to resolve the who. Now, if we don't bother with the why, then we can't ask why should I resolve the who. Okay, so let's indulge in one why, which is why should I resolve the who. So let me try and simplify. If the caterpillar took itself to be, or let's reverse it, if the giraffe took itself to be a caterpillar and was suffering a caterpillar life, you see, it would make sense for that giraffe to find out that really it's not a caterpillar, it's a giraffe, isn't it? Because all the caterpillar problems would go away. Hai. So it is feeling like I have to crawl on the ground, you see, because I am a caterpillar, all of that would go away. Now, if there is a misidentification about who we are, see, how much trouble is it worth to once and for all come to the reality of that answer? You see, now it may seem like the giraffe who's taking itself to be the caterpillar, you see, that caterpillar seems to now be struggling quite a bit in the asking itself, but who am I? Am I a caterpillar? You see, would you call that struggle worth it or not worth it? Let it live a happy caterpillar life, no?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's actually a giraffe. You're okay with that?
No, not.
Not really, no? Somewhere it doesn't ring true because somewhere within us, like there's a propensity towards truth. You see? So we're trying to find the right frames of truths. But if the whole substratum of where we are placing our frames of what is true itself is the misidentification, you see, then would you say that, okay, now it seems to be such a difficult question, how can I even answer it? Is there even an answer? You see, so that seemed like a struggle. But if I said that we have to struggle like that for a while, and that while could be 2 days or it could be 20 years, no? But would the truth that I found that I'm not actually what I thought I was, would the truth of that make it worthwhile? That one day, the one who considered itself to be the caterpillar found that actually I'm a giraffe. So that is the sort of pros and cons, the sort of give and take in this process, that it is not that the life of the one who is starting the inquiry immediately becomes rosy and easy and peaceful and very contra to the spiritual marketing, no, which is like you come for discourse, you will start feeling so happy and peaceful and blissful. You see, and that also happens sometimes. But suppose that didn't happen. You see. Now suppose that You thought you are this person, this body mind, but actually you were a lion. Huh? Now, that actuality that you were a lion, how many days or years of struggling, you see, would it still be worthwhile to find out who you really are? That is the question. You see? So, have you seen The Matrix? Okay, so
I wasn't understanding, so I left.
it's fine. It's fine. It's an old movie anyway. It may not have aged well. Also. So, in that, what happens is they all find out that they're in the middle of a large computer program. What they take to be reality is actually a large computer program. You see? Now, those who escape the matrix, it is shown that they live in a very bare bones, raw environment. There's no special comfort, nothing. You see? Like it's a bit of a struggle actually to live there. So one man who's been told the truth says, no, I don't want to leave this. Here I have my wine, I have my steak, I'm happy. I can taste the steak, I can taste the wine. I want to stay. You see? Now, some will be like that. You see? Now, we have to look into our hearts and see which one will I fall into. You see? To embrace the struggle to find out the reality of who I am, but to be a warrior for that truth, or to just go along with what my mind is telling me, what society is telling me, what people are telling me, that I have to be this, I am this body mind, and I have to be that, and then one day die. What is the outcome for being a body mind? Death, no? You see? So, like some are okay with, yeah, I'll die, it's okay, you see? But most of us, when we look into somewhere within, we don't feel like what we are is going to die. We feel like something here was before birth and something here is after death. We don't feel. Even when we tell people, we send people condolences, we say, may they rest in peace. So who are we wishing? May who rest in peace? You see, that one is dead, no? So if there was nothing beyond that body for that one, who are we saying rest in peace to? You see? So intuitively, even people who are not spiritual or religious have found comfort in wishing others rest in peace. May they rest in peace. You see? Now, if we find that that seems true for us, I don't feel like this birth was my true birth, and I don't feel like this death will be my true death. You see? Then let me find out what is going on, who is really here, who am I? You see? And you're right, it can be a struggle. For most of us, it was a struggle, it is a struggle. You see? So, but depending on our compass, you see, what is it that, how much do I want the truth, and how much am I willing to lead, which seems to me to be a lie somewhere. You see, if not the whole thing is a lie, at least something is not fully authentic about just taking yourself to be this bundle of food. No? Nobody feels like they're just all the lunch they ate and all the dinner they ate. You see, somewhere that doesn't appeal to us. No? So, what is the method to find out whether I'm just this, all the food that I've eaten, or there's something more to me? So that is the process of satsang. That is the process of coming to the company of the truth. You see, so many sages of the past, thousands and thousands over the years, then said that they came to the realization that they are not just the body mind, that there is Atma, which is the presence of God, and I am that I am. So they make statements like this, which can sound very confusing initially. Like, what are they saying? Like that. But as you keep looking, searching with good intention, with true intention, then all of these revelations become apparent for ourselves. You see? Now, what if our whole life got spent in this? है ना? Tough. Because is there a guarantee that you will get Atma Gyan or Atma Darshan? You see, that's what you should ask. Like, I come, now I'm going to leave all my attachments and all the things that I'm grasping onto. And you are saying, ask yourself who you are, or pray, take God's name. You're saying all this. At the end, what will happen if I don't get anything? That's a valid question to ask. Now, my proposal to you is that if you were to spend your life like that and even not get anything at the end of it, you will still be happier at your end than if you took yourself to be just purely something that you were not and you went along with that. That's my proposal to you. Now you have to go to your heart and say, what do I feel about this? So that is the endeavor in satsang. That is what we are trying to, like, because all of us somewhere or the other got the inkling that my life is not just this time frame between birth and death. There is something deeper there. And all of society, and it seems like there's a lawyer for society sitting in our head also, which is convincing us that I am this only, limited one. You see, but something. So, what is that something that doesn't feel in sync with that? You see that? So, that something itself is a clue. So you'll keep hearing me talk about the heart, the heart, the heart. You see, it's not some emotional airy-fairy heart. We refer to the heart as the source of this intuitive insight, the source of spiritual understanding. So that's something, if we follow it, you see, and see, what? Why am I wishing somebody who is dead? Why am I telling them, may they rest in peace? You see? We say we are praying for them. Somebody passed away, we are praying for them. Why praying for them? They're dead. You see? So something tells us, no, not dead. It's not a finality. So what is that something? What is that something? And how is that so universal that even atheists say rest in peace, praying for them. Even atheists, you see, in that moment of death, when they encounter, then they're talking about timelessness. But otherwise, in the day-to-day, what we call Maya of life, then that timelessness is usually forgotten. Yeah? So satsang is the reminder of this timelessness. Satsang is the reminder of what is actually here, who is actually here. Does it feel difficult at times? Does it feel like, let me just drop all this? I'm not going to get anything out of this project? Many times. Spiritual frustration can be quite strong. You see? But some compass in our heart keeps bringing us back to, okay, fine, but what is true? Who am I? I don't want to die under the full delusion that I am a caterpillar if actually I turned out to be a giraffe. So what happened is that I was an atheist for most of my life, and then by God's grace or God's humor or whatever you call it, I got things that I wanted. I got them very early, at the age of 23, and I somewhere saw that it's feeling like thermocol. I thought it'll be so joyful, I'll be so happy, you see, and that didn't last. So it felt very sterile, you see. So then I said, okay, now this has happened. It's not giving me the contentment or joy or happiness. So then I really said, so what is the whole point of all of this? Why am I here? What is going on? Who am I in the first place? So when I caught that bug, then I caught that bug. It didn't leave me. So that's how it started here. So being an atheist, then I started exploring all the paths. How can I find out? Who can tell me who I am? You see? And then I would come across the concept. I am Atma, I am Brahman, I am soul, I am spirit, all these answers. But that conceptual idea of it did not give any satisfaction. You see, because you know it all. It's all in the book. You read any book, it will give you all these concepts. You see? Something wanted a deeper taste of that, like a lived experience of that. You see, if I am the Atma, then show me. How do I know that? Like just carrying the concept, I am the Atma, I am the Atma, is as seemed as stupid as carrying the concept, I am Ananta, I am Ananta, or I am Tapan, I am Tapan. So, so, so it all became pretty lifeless in that way. It did not give me satisfaction. So, the only point of satisfaction here is when I came to the intuitive insight about who I am. You see, the Atma itself showed me the reality of what I am as Nirguna Brahman. You see, then is when the oppressive questioning stopped. Then it became more a light, like a contemplation within light, within joy, within love. See? Till then, did the spiritual path seem partly joyful and partly oppressive? Yes. See, because you have some moments where you feel free, you just feel rested, you feel relaxed. And there are some moments where like, what's happening? I'm not getting anything. You see, my whole life is going waste. I could have made more money. I could have worked on my relationship more. I could have become a bodybuilder, whatever. All these kind of ideas come. But you see, then it feels like, am I really wasting my life? And then you say, okay, what is option B? So you achieve what you want, you get all the money that you want, you get the relationship that you want, you get a healthy body, but still you die. You see? So what is the big joy in that? So this question, so when the question of who am I really gets mixed, not gets mixed, but along with the recognition that death is coming, you see, then keeps us on this path of inquiry. Now this may sound very scary and oppressive. Oh, death is coming, and who am I? You see? But at least in my experience, I noticed that with God's grace, besides the few times of frustration, mostly he's kept me quite all right. He's kept me quite happy, quite all right. See, have I thrown tantrums with God? Many. Have I felt to leave the path before 2009? Many times. So that's just some insight. Maybe it's helpful in some way. At least gives you a perspective as to why we are troubling ourselves so much. What was the second part? Did we answer that?
Kind of
Kind
actually.
of. Okay. Feel free to just ask anything. There's no wrong question or beginner question. I'm very happy. I'm very happy I got an opportunity to talk about this today. Initially, when we would talk about the path, and mostly my sharing was oriented towards self-inquiry. So people would say, what do you share in satsang, what is discussed. So, and I would say that we focus on the question, who am I? And the most common response was, what will you get out of that? उससे क्या मिलेगा? What is the point of asking that? Do you feel very happy after you ask that? And so somewhere I wanted to say that who are you talking about? You see? Yeah, but that conversation would have only gone badly. So mostly I would just retreat from that and say, no, it's not for happiness. We just somewhere a bug bit me that I had to know who I was. I had to find out. It's very difficult to explain. Like for most people, it just sounds like trouble, no? Like, don't you have enough problems already that you want to add one more problem? Who am I? Who am I? Mostly we are caught up in a sort of a scam, where we are told, first we are told, you just study well, get good marks, then you'll be happy. Then you do that. I didn't do that much, but I realized that others who are scoring well are also not that happy. You see that in that rat race, no, I came first, now I have to come first again, then I have to come first. See, like that, I did not see happiness in that. Then they're told, okay, now this part, now one more condition, okay, now you get a good job, well paying, then you'll be happy. Then people get good job, well paying also, all things taken care of, still not happy. Then they said, no, you have to find now, last, okay? Find the find the right partner, get married, get settled, then you'll be happy. Then, and we all know what happens after that. So let's not even talk about that. So, and then they said, no. You see, now there's something called self-actualization. Find out who you really are. Get enlightened in that way. Then you'll be happy. So the fraudulent nature of this ladder, without ever really questioning, is this the wall I'm supposed to climb in the first place? You see? And then self-actualization actually is for the very rare few. Very rare few. Then why did you tell me to study and then to get a job and then to get married? You should have said that the final step in the ladder is only for a rare few. It doesn't work like that. So we are caught up in this sort of societal for thousands and thousands of years. It's the same. If you read the questions that come to Ramana Maharishi 150 years ago, same. If you read the Upanishads and you see a conversation with sages like Yajnavalkya, same. He's sitting there telling them, ask, who am I? So deeply ingrained is this fraudulent promise of eternal contentment by getting worldly outcome. Now, if there is one who has invested their entire life on that framework, and if you go to them and say, no, all this is a scam, all this is not what happiness is about, what truth is about, it's all a lie, they are not going to like it because they've invested so much. No? So that's why it seems like we are the misfits, the misfits of society. What you keep doing, finding out who you are. Like that. It can sound like that. And if you're deeply invested in identity, then this question is very troublesome. Because imagine you spent 80 years building Mr. ABC, and at 80 somebody comes and tells you, but who are you really? Not easy to face that question. And it would not be scary if somewhere we did not know how brittle the identity is. That's why this path of self-inquiry is probably the least popular form of spirituality. You were saying?
I read, maybe, I can't remember who, but recently I read that um, if you just want to be free of suffering, and so you're trying to figure out this enlightenment of who you are, that's not a good way, because that's just disassociation. You're not really. He says, but the real question is that who are you? I mean, if you want to know the truth, then it's okay. But if you just want to be
So
free,
if I want to be free from my suffering, what should I do?
I don't know, Father, just read. So I was like, most people, I mean, I began
You have
because
to be
I,
very careful of that proposition, because this one refuge from suffering,
yeah.
that also should not be closed, because now you are just doing it because you want to be free from suffering. It's good. It's good if you're doing it because you want to be free from suffering.
No, because I remember that's why I was interested in it. That I find this ego's now. I mean, we call it now ego. That it's the ego is oppressive. It's very, very. Like you, and you just don't want to live like that anymore. If there's another way, then why would I want to choose this one? It sounded so fancy, and I was like, okay, maybe.
Big words are big words. The other word which is often misused is the word called bypassing, where if ever you are free from suffering in the moment, then in the eyes of some you are just bypassing. Yeah, just escapism, false, make believe stuff. Like in the eyes of some, if you're just happy in this moment to moment, you're just happy, then you must be bypassing. You see? But that's not bypassing. There is a bypassing which is not healthy, and that is to live in an avoidance. So you have all this festering within you, but you're just fooling yourself. I'm so happy, I'm so happy. I am the self, I am the self, I am Atma. You see, like that, but actually inside you is all these layers are festering with unhappiness, with dissatisfaction, with emotions of grief or sadness and all of that. And you're just like forcing, I'm so happy, man, I'm so good. So that's bypassing. Because you're bypassing using just conceptual knowledge, and you're not really looking at yourself, you're avoiding meeting yourself. You see? Now, the path of spirituality is the exact opposite of that. Is to meet everything in full acceptance and openness. It's not to hide away or shirk away from things. You see? So if there is grief here, then that grief must be felt. If there is joy here, then the joy must be felt. So just the open acceptance of everything that comes is the very basis of spirituality. We cannot be open and receptive to the light of spirit unless we are openly accepting everything that is playing out through us. Now, what happens is that many confuse this with accepting the narrative of the false one to be our reality. So, is the giraffe not doing bypassing by not believing caterpillar thoughts? Yeah. Isn't the giraffe bypassing?
Yeah.
You see? Exactly, that's my point. But that also we may consider bypassing in the world. That's a mistake. It's not bypassing. If I found such a me here, I would give it all the respect it deserved. But I just can't find this me. Bulla kya jaane mein kaun? Bulle Shah, the great sage, said, who am I? Where am I? I don't know who I am. You see? Now, if I don't know who I am, why should I force the narrative onto myself? Is that bypassing? No, it isn't. You see? So the avoidance is bypassing, looking away, denial, Advaita denial, very powerful ways to deny what is playing out through us. Those are not healthy. You see? But forcing narratives when I can't relate to them anymore, that's not bypassing. So we have to be careful of big words. Now, if the whole world is suffering but you are happy, something must be wrong with you. No? You're bypassing.
Father, in the beginning we were saying that comparing and measuring is a
Yes.
is
Or is that a fill in the
pride.
blanks? Okay,
Huh?
so is a position making exercise.
Yeah. I was just looking at that, Father, because over here I was seeing the tendency of the mind is like even that airport incident I was telling you, it was about like measuring and comparing and that perfection, it's all in the same. And that comparison is with the messaging of like some fear of missing out on something. And I don't have a question, I was just
No,
looking.
it's very good observation.
And that fear of missing out is also a fear. It's a fear, Father, which we've been talking for so many years. So the basis of everything is fear. The ego is using fear as a basis to keep me tied up, right?
Maybe a bit too conclusive for my taste, but not bad. It's okay. Fear is one of the biggest elements in its toolkit, yes.
When it keeps comparing for everything,
Yeah.
it's trying to benchmark my position, right, in
Yes.
something,
So
Father?
fear, pride, all this.
It's not just putting you back into the box of form.
Exactly.
Just bringing you back.
And not just you, everyone. When you put another in a box, we put ourselves in the box. When we say that one is better or worse, you see, we are putting them in the box and then we're putting ourselves in the box.
So just want to clarify. So when we say that acceptance means acceptance without the narrative, acceptance of all that.
Yes,
There is no
acceptance in a
narrative.
meeting. Belief is not accepting.
So the narrative is the belief. I mean, the narrative comes with believing.
So we accept everything, including the thoughts that come. We are open.
Correct.
You see? So everything is allowed to pass through. Now, acceptance, and so this is acceptance.
Correct.
You're open. I'm here. Let it all pass through me. That is acceptance. Now, belief is to buy into the message which is flowing in the mind, saying, this one is not right, this is good, this is bad. And the central character of that narrative, we can't find. You see? It says, my boss is not a good person. You see, it's unfortunately, it seems like most bosses get into that box. So, then who's boss? Body's boss? My bank account is running out of money. Whose bank account? Body's. You see? So even if we say body mind, it makes a construct of an entity which seems to have the ability to own things, to belong to things, you see, me, mine, and it wants to own more and more and more. But when this entity is investigated, we don't find it. You see? So now, is identification a question of blind belief or faith?
Identification.
Yes,
It's a blind belief.
exactly. You see, and they say in spirituality, we are the ones in blind belief. But the whole construct of the me is a question of blind belief. Oh, don't ask this question. No, it's obvious you are this only. What only? You see, what only? Oh, this. Because that question is so uncomfortable, no? You see? What do you mean? Body? Body, yeah, body. Then you say, but body is not have any attachment to money. Who has? Body is not concerned about past and future. Body is not feeling regret and pride. Who is?
So then why would I? It's like when you said you included grief in the acceptance of everything that's coming.
Yeah,
But how would I have grief if I didn't identify it?
everything, all. Remember we used to talk about first grade emotion and second grade emotion.
Okay.
So, anger, grief, lust, all of these are first grade emotions, they just come. When we stretch them out by involving the person in it, by making it pride, guilt, you see, all of these second grade are not emotions in themselves, but involving the identity in it. I should not have done that, so yeah, or that one should not have done this to me. You see? So then we take that natural anger and make it resentment. You see? Anger may arise, like some animal walks into the room, fear may arise. You see? But how do we stretch it out and make it like a condition? No, I don't want. You see? Like that. So that stretched out by involving the identity is not natural.
Your issue can be more, not exactly mental, but what I was saying, like guilt and resentment are more psychological, more embedded,
Exactly.
deep conditions.
So anger stretched out, like given an opportunity to play out in our expression towards others, all that happens with identity alone. Yeah, otherwise, so when like Anand Mahima said, no, don't get angry unless you have the power like Durvasa. You burn someone with your anger, but you can bring them back to life. Then don't get angry. Don't allow yourself to be used by anger. Don't allow yourself to be used by irritation.
Father, just a basic question I want to ask. So when the comparison, when I see that the comparison is happening in the mind, in that moment, either chant or
Inquire.
yeah, or that's what is the antidote to the
Who's better than who?
yeah, chanting works, but like taking God's name works better.
No, I'm saying you can inquire when the comparison is happening. Who's better than who?
Yeah.
Because she's saying, she thought the question is whether chanting is better or inquiry.
No, no, no. Actually, the chanting is better. That's it for me. It works.
It feels a bit unhealthy to just offer it to God and inquire. It feels like there's emotional pain.
Yeah.
It wants to convey. I don't know if that's the mind actually. What do you say about that?
See what plays out without identity.
But if language comes, it doesn't mean it has to be mind.
I see how it plays out without the identity.
Without the identity.
Yeah.
Without the identity. Like if I'm feeling pain, I don't say I'm feeling pain. Pain is there. That's what you mean.
Should you say, I am feeling pain, if you cannot find the one that is feeling the pain? That's the fundamental question. Like, would it be not natural if some energy called pain showed up in front of you? Would you say, I am feeling pain, or would you say, there is pain?
There is pain.
I is also there and pain is also there. Because both is evident.
Which I? You're talking about the true space of awareness which is witnessing? Yes.
Sense of I and
Yes, but that I is not feeling the pain. The I is just like the untouched witness who is watching this pain float in front of it. So when we say feeling pain, it's not saying that the feeling called pain has arisen within the I. It is meaning that I am affected by the pain. I am in the grasp of the pain. Isn't it? When we say I am feeling, we are not saying in the space that is consciousness arisen within myself, there are these sensations called pain which are not touching my reality. We are saying that I am in the grasp of the pain, I am in the clutches of the pain.
The true identity I've never known. And to invest time into finding that in those moments.
No, you have to invest time in finding that in the other moment.
In the moment then, when you're feeling the pain.
Yeah. Then those moments become better. If you spend a lot of your time when you're not in the midst of strong turmoil, in the inquiry, in the prayer, then those moments become lighter, and only then is it possible. Because otherwise mostly you will report that there was no distance in that moment for me to say I was just witnessing that pain. Isn't it? It takes practice.
Yeah.
And we can't say I will practice only when the...
No, that's fine. Like say I'm doing my sadhana and okay, when I'm sitting in focus sadhana, some memory comes up, somebody saying something insulting, and I have all these thoughts coming up saying, oh, they did wrong, or they had some condition, or some ways to rationalize away the truth of what they said, if there is a truth. And instead of looking for who is feeling this pain, I try that a few times and still it doesn't. I feel it's like a bypass. I'm not feeling the pain. I'm looking for a way to escape
Just say
it.
I'm not feeling the pain. Just say who is that is feeling the pain.
That just somehow that doesn't feel right. I don't know why.
But it feels right that I am feeling the pain.
No, it feels more right to investigate what happened. Like, what are you feeling pained about?
But not who that you is. what happened to, we were talking about the caterpillar and the giraffe.
I know, but I don't know why it just feels unhealthy. I don't
But
haven't.
what if you are not the caterpillar and you are the giraffe? You okay with that? Like, to investigate the cause of the caterpillar's pain is more of an imperative, even if you are not sure you're the caterpillar.
I don't know. I don't really know, but
It's worth investigating. That I would rather find out why I, as a person, feel hurt in these situations, yeah, rather than find out if there is actually a person here.
I am choosing the first option and I don't have a reason. I do want to. I don't know, and I've brought this up to you many times. I don't know why. It
Fine,
just.
it's fine. Not everyone has to be attracted to finding out who they are.
No, at other moments I do that all the time. But in those moments, it does feel like a
That's
bypass.
okay. In those moments, it's fine.
Like I wanted to process what it's going through and reveal. Like I wanted to feel safe.
Who?
The pain. The
No,
pain.
no, who wanted to?
This I don't know. This is a strange thing. The one was.
So in a way, maybe we're just talking about the grooves. That when
Yeah,
this
yeah,
turmoil
yes,
comes,
yes,
then the grooves are strong, so we fall into those patterns of examining the causes
yes,
rather than investigating who. Which is going
yes,
to happen, and that's why we need practice.
yes.
So we are practicing to change the grooves. We are practicing to not fall into that conditioning, those vasanas that are ignorant. You see, but when those moments come, that's fine, because those are kind of, like, if I was to be a bit cruel, then I could say those moments are write-offs. You see, because you can't really help it in the midst of all that turmoil. You see,
I have this position, it's actually necessary. And I don't know why I have it. Maybe because of ChatGPT had something to do with that. But but I do feel it's to avoid it. It's to somewhere it's unhealthy, I feel, but I don't have
it
you would
would
know
be
better.
unhealthy, and that's why I was saying that it would be unhealthy if you were forcing a denial which is only conceptual in that moment. I feel
Yeah.
that's what you're also saying.
But you've also talked about how trying to do spirituality in the head is not spiritual. That's what
Exactly.
I'm
That's what
asking.
I'm saying.
Is
So it
that
would
what
be
I'm doing?
unhealthy if in that moment we're just like, no, I am happy, I am the self.
No, not that. Even before,
So if
while
anger is there and we're just playing this like trick on ourselves, like a fraudulent spirituality,
yeah,
you see, that nothing is happening to me. I'm quite happy. I'm the self. How can I be unhappy? You see, and then we quote from scripture and say, I am that. What is that? Most
boundless
adorable.
ocean,
Huh? What is it?
boundless ocean in which
Boundless ocean in which the
arcs
arcs
of
of the
the
universes come and go. But actually,
no, that's definitely
then
unhealthy.
that's a denial. Then you're just trying to, unless it is, I am the boundless ocean in which the arcs of the universes come and go. It comes as a reminder and it leads to that insight. You see, but I know the moments that you're talking about is like that falling in doesn't happen, you see. So then just to fool ourselves, that is bypassing. Just to fool ourselves conceptually, no, this is not happening to me, I am the self.
That definitely is. But I'm trying to get at something else. I'm not able to put it into words. Uh, Maybe I'll bring it up some other time when I have to. Like, yeah, I'll bring it up some other time. Yeah. Thank you.
Something related to what Shiv is talking about on the pain. Like I'm terrified of terrified of a cold shower.
Yes.
Like as trivial
Same,
as
yeah,
that,
same.
right? So fear is like the operative word there. So and it's actually just pain. When I step into that, is the sensation of pain, and I want to flee it. But like what you said, I've tried it now quite a few times, and I continue to do it. um, to the point where I'm not taking it as a mental challenge because I've done that and I know what that feels like. I've sat in that ice bath and all of that. And with willpower, one can do a lot of crazy things that seem undoable. But this one, it felt like I stepped into the shower, then the observation was the body is shaking, the breath is moving fast. So I was just noting it. All of this is happening. I'm also not fighting it. And there is pain, and I'm curious about what is this pain? Where is it? And by the time, if I'm able to reach there in the 30, 40 seconds that I've survived so far, then it's almost like that pain became sweet. Like, sweet is still the wrong word, but its texture just changed from fear to like curiosity. That's the only closest I've come to like consciously experimenting with pain. It's very hard to inflict pain on yourself.
Don't have to.
No, I'm not saying that. But it's a simple experiment to try. Yeah. I don't know if that's what Shiv was talking about, but for me,
You notice that strangely enough, pleasure and pain are called the opposites. Like in the duality, there's pain on one side, pleasure on the other side. But what you're saying is that accepted pain, the pure vibrational quality of it, is not extremely different from pleasure itself. What do I mean by accepted pain? That when it's not inserted into a narrative, it's just met. And we see, in fact, at the Art of Living, when I started my spirituality, they would have an exercise where I hope I haven't signed some NDA or something with them, but they'll make you keep your hand like this for a long time, and then 1 hour would go, and then that in the middle you'd feel like so much pain, but by the end of it, you're feeling just pleasure in your arms. See? And then you're, how did that pain become pleasure? What do we know really? Stuff. Is it a wave or a particle?
This cold water thing, like in the Ganga, you have it, it's really cold. You just stay there for 10 seconds more. But it's okay, then you're not.
The body temperature also changes, and the contrast is not so much after something.
You just gonna like become.
Yeah, but I feel like he's saying that just if we allow just ourselves to just experience that sensation without the story of the mind, like why me, I shouldn't have done this, all that stuff, then just the pure vibrational quality is not that broadly different in the spectrum between pain and pleasure. It's like that whole I'm so anxious, nervous versus I'm excited about going to the holiday thing. Vibrationally, not so different.
What about when you grow out of a habit? Like supposing like I was put into a situation where I couldn't have tea in the morning, which I was.
Couldn't have.
Yeah, I was in a habit of having it. Hyderabad.
Doctor said.
Yeah, no, there wasn't any, and you just couldn't have it. And then after a while, you just accepted it, and then you just grew out of it, and now also it's okay. So there's no pleasure or pain involved in it anymore. But it was painful before. So that also, it's not like becoming pleasurable, but it's just like gone. It's just like you just don't have that groove anymore.
This is how conditioning changes. Some of it just vanishes and leaves no trace at all. How was I ever so dependent on this?
Yeah. So it's like an adversity makes you see that you can be resilient. Like you're not.
Yeah, but I'm saying even more like sometimes it doesn't even need adversity. Sometimes you just grow out of it.
Some command was there. When you do it, don't smoke. You're like in a prison, you can't get the tea in the morning, you have to do it.
Dada, but there are some pains those counts as punishment.
Will come as punishment for?
Yeah, punishment, like it feels like minor death, and
Like a
not
minor
as
death?
minor death. I mean,
Acha, acha.
like
It's okay,
like you
take your
were,
time, take your time.
yeah, like you were working in the gym for maybe 2-3 months, and suddenly you fell sick, and you kind of got deprived of all the good result you could have got.
Yeah.
Or you were working on a paper for a long time, and after 8 months it got rejected.
Acha.
So it
It feels so much grief is there, so much sadness is there. It
Yes.
feels like a death almost.
Yes,
That's it.
and there is no denial in this cause that question of I or me or self. And this is so acute. Like at that point,
Yes.
it is there.
Yeah.
Like, and that time it feels like final death is more graceful than all of these things. And it also feels like that if there is a like God parent of me, God is the, how can this thing be so treacherous?
Treacherous, heartless.
Yeah. And it doesn't matter that if I will get happiness or bliss afterwards, but following this, who can be so cruel and cause so much pain? Like it is said in the spiritual discourse that take pain as your blessing, like whatever. But at that point, like, don't have that strength, don't have anything to hold on to, crawl back,
Yeah.
anything. Like when you were trekking in the Himalayas and all, that is different kind of pain, different
Correct,
kind of pleasure.
correct.
Comparing to cold water, that is different, but this is so real. And
It seems so
yes,
at a different layer itself.
yeah, and comparing to it, everything feels that some conspiracy is happening. Some like maybe you don't deserve anything good. And also in that point, if you
Like life is oppressive in nature.
yes, oppressive in
Or
nature,
God is
cruel
oppressive,
in
cruel
nature,
in nature.
violent, like
Violent.
some enjoyable violent.
It's getting some
force is
joy
there.
out of troubling us.
Yeah,
Yes.
like traveling us, I don't know, but
At least me.
us is also maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At least me though it's taking.
Yeah, me too, like a very real thing in there. And another thing is that even at that point, even the thing comes that everything is so like how to say, like, I don't want to say Maya because I don't want to understand it, but it's like trap.
Yes.
Okay, so now, okay, I want to devote myself or surrender. Then thing is that it's an escapism,
Yes.
right? Like, I don't know, like maybe I
Yes. Yeah.
couldn't
No, it's good. I got a
communicate
sense.
it
We
properly.
can have a two-way conversation. It doesn't have to be like this. So when these events happen, in our lives, so many of these events happen. You lose your business, or some family member passes away, or something you really worked hard towards, and those outcomes don't come out to be how we wanted them to come out to be. So those moments can seem really like, then God is not on my side. No, He's that, to say the least. So how to recognize that may be a misunderstanding? How to recognize that? So I would say that, what's a good analogy for this? So if you had to write your final doctorate exams, would you just show up for the exam and just say, okay, I'm just going to go for it? or would there be some other process?
If you just show up, you won't feel that much pain.
Yes, but you will not pass, so that may be painful. है ना? That's what I'm getting at. So let's say many people do these IIT entrance exam. So my father forced me to go for IIT entrance exam. So I just went. I never studied. So what do you think happened? Nothing. I didn't get through. So now with our relationship with God, it's also like that, whether we like it or not. Like the construct of human relationships, somewhat we can try and superimpose similar principles on that. So suppose that you called a friend only when you needed money. Would that one consider you to be their friend? They would say, matlabi, or just selfish. He is called when she needs something. No? So what is a true friendship?
Doesn't matter in need or need not matter.
Yes, good times or bad times, whatever the need or not be, you miss each other, you call each other, you be with each other. So, in a way, our relationship with God must deepen like that, not so that when those things come, then He is better supportive of those who are in touch with Him, but so that we can understand something which may sound strange to you, but we can see the grace even in that situation. We can understand a deeper growth, a deeper insight in that situation. In a way, let me use a term which is not accurate. We can understand the mind of God better only if we have spent time with God when those times are not there. You see? Just like you say, I have this horrible boss at work. You see? Every 6 months he gives me some big trouble, like he'll spoil my appraisal, he won't give me the pay hike, he has something against me, he must be a terrible person. You see? Now your parents or somebody senior, your mentor at work may advise you, you know what you should do? You should just try and spend some more time with this one, because some people say he's very nice. So how is this dichotomy coming? That you are saying he's the most terrible one. So maybe you should try and spend some more time with them. And when that situation comes, bad appraisal comes, you see, it's always better when you know that, okay, these are the principles. Now he has set expectations clearly. I'm not equating this to God, okay? I'm just saying because he is much more, in my experience, much more merciful than that. So, but I'm saying that to get an insight into why do, like the most popular spiritual question is, why do bad things happen to good people? Isn't it? That's like the most popular spiritual question. So unless we have spent time with God, we will not get a sense of how He works, what is playing out, and all the ones at that time tell you, no, this is for your good, this is for your growth, He loves you. It'll sound like rubbish, like complete lip service, right? So, but I would propose to you again, my submission is, if you spend some time with Him, then you notice what is happening. You see what is happening with him and myself, if there are two in this relationship. But if we've not endeavored to spend time with him, and we say, okay, now I want to understand in the midst of this tsunami, why is he doing this to me? Then that becomes very difficult. You see? So that is one thing. The second thing is that suppose that you are very close to one of your parents. Huh? You need some time? Take some time. So, water?
No, I'm fine.
Right? So, so you feel you're very close to one of your parents, but it's the same analogy actually, which is coming, which is that you don't really call them. You don't really call them. Versus you call your parent even when you're very busy. What will they feel? Or let me put it in a better way. Suppose your father said to you, you have to call me every night at 9 o'clock. You have to do it. You see, and you do it, and you're doing it by the clock. You see, is it a great expression of your love for him?
No.
It's not, because it's almost regimented. No? You see, but he has not mandated anything, suppose, and you are very busy. You have a big paper to write or big exam coming up, and you called and said, "Oh, I'm very busy. All this thing is happening, but I was just missing you. I just called to say I love you." That's a true sign of love, isn't it? So in the same way, when we do it because it's regimented, when we do it because it is said that, oh, your life will be better if you just pray or something like that, then that's not a true sign of love, and God doesn't regiment it in that way. You see? So my point is that if love is forced, then it's no longer love. You see? So he has given us the choice to love him or to not love him. You see, because he wants a true love. He wants a truly loving relationship. So,
Then let him love to know.
yeah? Yes, it's a very valid question. Then why doesn't he love me first? Like that?
Show it.
Yeah, yes, my child. So, I'm with you on this, and I've been there. So, now, if we have created a distance from him, we don't turn towards him, you see, then are we able to even spot his love? Yeah? So, if you never speak to your dad, how will you know whether he loves you or not? You see? So, is your dad love only going to be conveyed whether he sends you a monthly allowance and he takes care of your rent? Is that the only sign?
But one primary sign should be that I felt loved. Be that in any way.
Yeah. Even if you were distancing yourself from him, that's not how any relationship works. So suppose you met this nice boy, and you said, maybe there's a future here, maybe we should go out, we should date, we should do explore the possibility of a longer term relationship. But you never call him, you never write to him, you never do anything. And then you say, but I expected him to love me. So if we don't accept that in our human relationships, why do we accept or expect that in our relationship with God? To find out his posture towards you, you have to meet him at least. No? Is it? But if you only remember him when life is squeezing our throat, then even then, like my experience is that even if you remember him, then it's quite he's quite helpful. But I remember a time where I did not feel that, because I did not know him well enough. So now, why do bad things happen to good people? So when we continue to pick absence of love over love, continue without realizing in many cases, but we continue to pick absence of love over love, and still then people end up like all of humanity is picking the absence of love over love, where God has given everyone the capacity to love. You see? Do we love each other to the full of our extent in every moment we are with our brothers and sisters? We don't. You see? So when relationships fail, when wars happen, when people are dying because of hatred, isn't he the one who should be asking, I gave you the capacity for love and see what you're doing? Is it then for us to say, why are these bad things happening? Or is it for him to ask us, why are these bad things happening? I give you such a heavenly world where if you just loved each other, everything would be fine.
But evil is also created by him, right?
Evil is just the absence of love. And like we said, he's not forced us to love him, because then that would be like the father who said, call me 9 o'clock every day. Then it's a force, it's not love. So there is no evil except the absence of love.
Isn't the absence is also created by him?
See, now go back to the example of calling your dad. Is the not calling created by him? You see? Now if he'd forced you to call, you see, then that would not be love. You see? So for now it is good enough to say that the choice to love or not love he has left to us. Yes? And every time we make the choice to be in the absence of the full love we can offer to him or to our brothers and sisters in the world, then that is the only error, that is the only sin, that is the only evil. So I would say, before concluding about him, like any parent says, no, I've got this boy for you to see. Before concluding anything about him, at least meet him. Fair enough? ये all say, ना मिल तो लो एक बार, before saying no. At least meet the boy. But if you fall in love, then remember this conversation we had. Yes? I mean, with God. Mike, please, at the back.
Our sharing just reminded me of this death-like situation that I experienced a couple of decades ago with my best friend. We were both 35 and we were work colleagues and best friends, and I would even say like a spiritual friend in the best way that word describes a friendship. And he was a very inspiring, like just a great human being to be around, and then got diagnosed with pancreatic cancer suddenly. We used to play squash and he used to complain of a backache.
I see.
And he just kept doing physio because at that age, 35, And then suddenly after 3 months, he got diagnosed with pancreatic. And we saw the best doctors available in the world, and they said, with chemo, maybe 6 months, without chemo, maybe 3 months. And he had a 1-year-old daughter. So, and he was an atheist. And he would see me go to the Vedant Center in San Francisco. And that's where I used to go once a week. And after a lot of back and forth with doctors, he said, "Hey, I'm hit my limit of using my mind to figure out whether I should take chemo or just not go through that suffering." So I said, "Look, I'm out of ideas as well." And then he said, "Can you take me to that monk that you go to in the Vedant Center?" And I was like, I wasn't sure because he was very, very, you know how they are. You've been there, and so we went, and it was a senior Swami, must have been in his 80s, really beautiful soul, soft and hard, depending on who the audience is. So I went and met him, and before bringing my friend Paddy to him, he asked me about his personality, and he'd never met him before, but he was going to be asked these hard questions. So he asked me, how is he? Can he handle, he seems like an intellectual, can he handle strong medicine? I said, yeah, to the best of what I know, but this is death, and it's out of my pay grade also. Of course. So anyway, Paddy went in and sat with the Swami, and I kind of just sat outside the room. I could hear what they were talking, and initially it was why me, and all of that. Somehow he brought him to why not you. Like earlier we were discussing with Shiv also, you were saying we need to look at both things, the why of the something and the why not of the something. And that can be seen very harsh to somebody in that situation, but Paddy handled it, and I guess the Swami was responding intuitively. And for me as a 35-year-old, it was like, it was mind-blowing. Like, I never thought about the flip of it. Why not you? And we can talk for hours on that topic, but then the next thing was, he said, you're a scientist by training, and he said, yeah. And he said, how often do your instruments fail you in the lab? And Paddy said, yeah, all the time instruments fail me. And the Swami said, this instrument that you are living in has failed you, but it has nothing to do with who you actually are. And the next 3 months, 90 days, you can live a life that people who even lived in their 90s have not got anything out of it. But in the next 90 days, you can get a lot more out of it if you try to find out who you are. And I'm just sitting there outside, and this guy's an atheist, and I'm also going through this stress. And so that conversation got over. It was like 90 minutes, and then I was silent and dumbstruck. I drove him back. We were just in the car, nobody said anything. And then he put his hand on my hand as I was changing the gears. And he said, thank you for this gift. This is the best thing that happened to me. Now that was just that 1.5 hour, but then I was interacting with him for the next 90 days. And Father, he was just a completely different human being. He was holding our hand. In America, you become homophobic, like men don't touch men and all of that. But he just became a loving soul. He had Krishna by his bedside. And he was a so-called atheist. And it was just, it turned into like a joy to see him go, even in a way, and like left me with so much inspiration. So like I completely gone through what you're saying. Like, we don't know the mind of God. And I would have never imagined him to embrace that journey in the way he did. And just so grateful to have learned from that, and he still lives, kind of as a spirit in that reminder all the time. So, yeah, just wanted to share that.
Thank you. Since we are asking why questions today, which are usually I say don't ask why, ask who. We can ask ourselves, why don't we love as much as we can? Why do we economize on it? What are we scared of? Why has separation become the norm and to love become the exception? And there are a few things. One is that mind attacks things at the root. So when we change the very definition of love to special love, like just me and you, special relationship, you see, then it's no longer universal, it's no longer unconditional. It's more of desire under the garb of love, or wanting in the garb of love. But if we allow our heart to just naturally, organically spread its love, then we don't get into egotism or wanting and desire. So don't confuse love with what most of the world calls love. I'm not talking about the Hallmark movie love. Not that I'm saying I'm in opposition to that, but I'm just saying that from a broader space, then that can naturally play out. Relationships are formed. But second is just a fear of rejection, a fear of, oh, what if it's not reciprocated? What if, you see? So the sharing of love must be an end in itself. It must not be a give and take or expectation. Because all the love that we ever feel is going to come from our own heart. In the world, we think it's going to come from another. He must love me or she must love me. You see? Suppose another loves you deeply, where do you feel that love? In your heart only. So it's all there already. All the infinite love is in your heart already. Allow it to embrace your being and allow it to embrace the universe. You will never find a shortage of love. You were saying today, someone was saying that it seemed like everybody is just crying for love, calling out for love. You see? But we are calling out for love in the wrong place. We think another will fulfill us. We think another will complete us. That feeling of completion, even if we had in a relationship, always came from within ourselves. Because we were not clamoring maybe for a few moments for more or anything. We were just allowing love to take ownership of our life. So it is not dependent on special relationships from the outside. And this very cliche line, if we just see the depth in that, let go and let God, or let go and let love, then you see that you have rivers of love flowing in your heart. You see? But you have been roaming as if you are thirsty in a desert. Enough capacity is within you to love the entire universe. But if we take want out of the picture, isn't it strange that universally it is said, Ghat Ghat mein Ram Viraje. Within all of us, in our hearts He is there. And yet we feel unfulfilled. We feel trouble because of what we see on the outside, although He is right here with everyone, in everyone, as everyone. So if Ramji is really here, then does He have a shortage of love for you? Why is He living inside you? But He doesn't. Maybe somewhere we have this expectation that it should be one direction. Love is always, when those in love lose their boundaries, and it's a sharing, a communion, a spread. So if we say to the Lord, love me, my heart is yours, and if you do it, just do this for one moment, you will taste His love. But if your posture is, I will not bow down, I will not turn towards you, you prove it to me that you love me. He doesn't have to prove anything to anyone. So true love is only when we are on our knees, not when we are on a horse, on a high horse. Yeah? True love is only when we are humble in our posture. in our outer life as well as in our inner life. See, otherwise it's just ego play in the guise of love, in the desire in the guise of love. Right, let's go to Sharad.
Father, am I
Hello.
audible?
Yes, my dear. Yes, you are.
Father, I am not prepared to say anything. I don't. Yes, thank you. I'm not prepared to say
Yes.
anything. Just thank you.
Oh, welcome. All my love, all my blessings. Okay, let's close with Radhesham ji.
Ram Ram, Father.
Ram 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 Ram.
Thank you, बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद.
You're welcome. So nice to have a name like Radhesham. You want to say?
So, Father, I had a similar conversation with my daughter a few days back.
The daughter?
Not so profound, of course, but the ultimately it turned out to be if I love, will my problems get solved? Those
If I love God, then will
those
my problems go?
tangible problems of
Yeah.
either getting the paper published or so that level expectation starts. So I didn't have any answer, so I kept just praying.
Yeah. Love with condition? Is it love really? But you know, if a child is encouraged in some way to go in that direction, then many times just God plays in these mysterious ways. How old is she?
She's 18.
18.
It's like can you guarantee
Yeah.
it will work that level of conversation?
Is this testing you?
No, father, not testing, but yeah, I mean, real expectations, and even small, so let's say small life issues. Yeah, so similar like, is that another solution? Let's see. When we talk, it's the see is this another solution to my problems? Yeah. Of course it is, but not in a way where you will get answers what you are expecting.
I don't know what her temperament is like, but we may prod a bit and say, okay, so if one day I had nothing to give you in return, would you still love me or no? But kids these days are very bright. They may not be checkmated by a question like that. Just pray and bless her so that just her remembering God in this way leads to something deeper. I was saying, what a nice name to have, Radhisha. What if everything that we perceive in this vast seeming universe, what if that was nothing but a tiny grain of sand? And that which is beyond this tiny world would be accessible to us. In that deep and holy place where the revelation and the revelations may be much beyond we can ever imagine. And that which we take to be reality, be smaller and tinier than we can understand. If we move beyond the limited bounds of reason, intellect, mind, concept, sensory perception, do we find that there is nothing? Is there only this realm of perception here? What is it being held up by? What is the substratum of this world play? Would we want to be just those who look at the waves which are smashing into the shore and taking those waves at the surface to be all that the ocean is? Now, most of our brothers and sisters in the world have a reason. They can say, but I don't know how to look at the vastness of the ocean. But we do not have that reason anymore. So if you've been given the mystery, then would you just live in ignorance of that and continue to focus where everyone else is also focusing? Or will you have the faith to jump in to the vastness of what is on offer? Is our spirituality going to always live under the boundary of what does this mean for me and how is this helping me? Or one day we will take the courage and dive in to that which is much beyond what we take ourselves to be. Will we truly become explorers of the heart? Or will we limit our spirituality to cause and effect? In the sense of, oh, this, then what about me? And then if this, then what about me? What if we just let go of this me? Because we have the sense that that which can be let go of cannot be the primal anyway. What if we lose our idea that we will fall without this ego? And allow the king of this universe to claim his true lordship over our existence. in our wanting our own kingdom, we deprive ourselves from participating in the true kingdom. May we all live in Ram Rajya. May we all be in the presence of the Ram Darbar. Want to sing? She reminds me after every satsang. And now she's like, see, what's that? Which one? Okay, we remember that? Stuff. You know, I've forgotten the word. You said the pitch.
Yeah.
You told me if I start, she can't move along with that.
राख भरोसो भाई रे, राम जी को राख भरोसो भाई रे, राख भरोसो भाई रे, राम जी को राख भरोसो भाई रे। जो तू राखे राम भरोसो, जो तू राखे राम भरोसो, कमी नहीं राखे काहि रे, कमी नहीं राखे काहि रे, राम जी को राख भरोसो भाई रे, राम जी को राख भरोसो भाई रे, राख भरोसो भाई रे, राम जी को राख भरोसो भाई रे, राम जी को राख भरोसो भाई रे।
जो तू
राखे राम भरोसो, जो तू राखे राम भरोसो, कमी नहीं राखे काहि रे, राम जी को राख भरोसो भाई रे, राम जी को राख भरोसो भाई रे। Father, you remember that one that you had composed?
Which one?
Ram hi par lagaye re bhaiya. Ram hi par lagaye re bhaiya. No?
No, now we are putting this tune.
This Ram hi par lagaye re. Nobody remembers Joe? Jyotika?
I remember, but I don't remember the tune.
I might have it on my phone somewhere. Like a boatman, no?
Boatman song.
राम ही पार लगाए रे भैया, राम ही पार लगाए रे, राम ही पार लगाए रे भैया, राम ही पार लगाए रे.
जो तू राखे
राम भरोसो, जो तू राखे राम भरोसो,
राम ही पार लगाए रे भैया,
राम ही पार लगाए.
राम ही पार लगाए रे भैया.
There was more to it though. I can't remember. I'll find it and see.